Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Health Hour. This is Mike Sasser, your host, and glad you're listening in to Lone Star Community Radio on this beautiful day. You know, I tell you what, I think we're past the rain for a little while anyway. Got the heat coming on. It's about 90 degrees out there, maybe a little more, but you know what? I will take that over a rainstorm any day, any day. So welcome to the show. I like to say it's a health hour of health news you can use. Yes, right here, Lone Star Community Radio. By the way, you're probably listening to us on internet right now, but exciting news coming up. We will soon be on FM. That's right. You'll be able to find us on an FM dial, 104.5 or 106.1. So stay tuned and keep listening. That will be coming up before long. So the Health Hour. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, I tell you, got a few things going on today. Got some exciting things going on today. Got a in studio guest. I'm not going to say anything just yet. I'm gonna hold on to that. Keep you tuned in. Keep you on the edge of your seat there. But we do have a guest in the studio today, talking about a really cool deal there. I'll do a little bit of my restaurant reports. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it all on the up and up this week. I'm gonna keep it on the positive side by discussing some of the restaurants that just had a 100% score. Other words, no problems, no issues when the health inspectors went out there and checked them out for, like I said, the month of May. And I'm going to share a website with you that you could look up this information yourself, at least for the restaurants that are in the Woodlands area. And by the way, these are restaurants that are all over Montgomery County, which is a big county, so think about it. There's a lot of restaurants out there. So see if your restaurant is on that list this week for a perfect score. Let's say a gold star like you used to get back in back in school. For me was not so long ago. And then I've got a special guest. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna let it out of the bag. We'll get her to talk here in just a little bit. But I have Jennifer Engel she is with the Confidential Resolution Services. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jennifer. You can talk.
Yes, I'm the owner of Confidential Resolution Services.
Okay.
Which is a mediation company. So we empower clients to speak openly and discuss resolutions in a confidential setting, making it more cost and time efficient outside of litigation.
Awesome. And see, look at there. It's out of the bag. It's out of the bag. Okay. All right. But Jennifer's going to be here, and she will be talking to us, letting us know, how. First off, you might say, well, what does that have to do with the Health Hour? And we met actually at the Food Fest here.
Taste Fest.
Yeah, not long ago, here in Conroe, and we got to talking. I said, well, when people are stressed and there's conflict going on and things like that, well, that impacts your health. It impacts your sleep, your eating, your stress levels, and things like that. So I thought, that's perfect. We're always talking about food, and we're talking about weight loss and nutrition and things like that. But let's talk about some well-being and see what that's going on. So Jennifer is going to enlighten us on all that type of stuff today, and then I will finish off the show with grocery ads, and that's the weekly grocery ads. And this week I looked at some things that Randalls has on sale, and we'll be looking for some healthy choices out there that's on sale. And like last week we talked about produce and things that are in season for the month of June. And by the way, if you missed that show, guess what? You can go back and catch it on podcasts. That's right. Go to the Lone Star Community Radio website, which is www.irlongstar.com, and you can look up archives. Click on, I think it's down on the bottom. You can also find it at the top there as well under shows, but click on the Health Hour, and boom, all the all the podcasts are there. All the previous shows are there. So that way, podcasts, think about it. You can listen to it at night in your, in your PJs or, whenever it is good for you. We got the live show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. But let's say you want to listen to it on, Sunday works out better for you. Well, that is what the podcast is all about. So anyway, we'll be talking about the weekly grocery ads and some produce and some other foods that are healthy choices that are on sale. So that's what I've got lined up for you today. Just a couple of things here that I wanted to talk about before we get with you there, Jennifer. So just hang on just a second there. And I was reading this morning. By the way, I read quite a bit, usually about a couple hours in the morning, and try to keep up with all the different, health, studies, tips, trends, things that are going on in the world with related to health and well-being and whatnot. And this was just out, and it's alarming in some ways, but basically it says the obesity rates for U.S. women and teens are on the rise, according to new studies from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, and they're a pretty good authority on that type of stuff. By the way, it says about 41% of women and 35% of men are obese, according to the survey data collected as recent as 2014. That is, for men, it's over a third. For women, it's definitely over a third. It's almost approaching 50% or half in the U.S. Again, it's the foods we're eating, and possibly the things we're drinking and stuff like that. But it's just it's on the rise, and it's a big issue because that relates to a lot of the health issues, from hypertension to heart disease and everything else. I go on to read a little bit more of the study here. It says a decade earlier, in comparison, about 38% of women and 34% of men were obese, the study found. So, it looks like women are increasing more so than men. It said over the same period, obesity rates for teens rose from about 17%, now get this, 17% to 21%. So that's a pretty big jump for teens as well. And I contribute a lot of this, again, to the foods that we eat, the processed foods. There's a lot of sodium in our diets now. There's a lot of sugar. And quite frankly, I talk about this, by the way. I'm an author. I've written a book, Simple, Inexpensive, Painless Weight Loss. That's kind of how we got here. That's how the Health Hour got started. I'm a local author. But anyway, enough about me. In my book, I talk about the amount of sugar that we're eating. We're consuming 4 or 5 times the amount of sugar per day. Think about that. Per day, every day. Our body's only needs about 25 grams or 6 teaspoons of sugar a day to operate on, if you will. And the rest of it is just being stored. And I really believe that is what is leading to this obesity crisis here in America and other countries as well. I mean, it's not just us. We're not the only ones. But again, we're talking about here at home and in our community. But that is... that is the problem that I see. You think about it. I looked this up not long ago. If you have 1 can of soda, and I'll just say it, a popular one, Coca-Cola. Everybody loves that. 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola, 39 grams of sugar. Now, keep in mind you're only supposed to have 25 grams per day. 1 can of Coca-Cola, whether you have it in the morning, in the afternoon, whatever it is, you've already gone over the amount of sugar that your body needs for that day. So, anything else that you eat that day that contains sugar, you're just adding to it. So there's that 4 or 5 times the amount of sugar that you're consuming on a daily basis. So anyway, knowledge is power. If you know about something and you're aware of things, then you can make changes to do better. one other thing that's a little bit closer to home here, and that is, on a personal note, I was able to attend a play here in downtown Conroe at the Owens Theater. You can just about see it from where we're at here, called Chicago. And I just want to say, number one, I thoroughly enjoyed the play. It was really neat to get into the community and see what's going on. It was well attended, which I thought was great because these are local people in the play. They're acting. They did an awesome job. It takes a lot of, I'm sure, rehearsing and practice and everything else to put this thing on. And it was their last week, so Chicago, that play has since ended, but they have upcoming shows coming. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, treat yourself to one of these shows, one of these plays. Get involved and check it out. The theater itself is really nice, really comfortable, and the show was good. So get out there. There's so many things to do just right here in downtown Conroe, and the more I get involved with the community, the more I find out, wow, Montgomery County has so many things going on. It's just awesome. It's a great place to be. So anyway, enough about that. You're listening to the Health Hour, and I have already talked enough that we're going to go on our first break here. When we come back, I've got Jennifer in the studio live. So come on back.
I know you know this already, but most of the shows on Lone Star Community Radio are available in podcast format. If you want to keep up with the latest shows, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lone Star Community Radio, and our website at irlonestar.com. You can even follow us on SoundCloud and Twitter to see the latest posts from Lone Star Community Radio. Can't find a show? Then just search for it on irlonestar.com in the search bar to the top right of every page. Or just contact us on irlonestar.com/contact us with your questions, demands, sponsorships, anything. Lone Star Community Radio is your Montgomery County community radio station.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour. I'm Mike Sasser. It's Wednesday, and beautiful day. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I tell you, these weeks fly by. This is always a fun time to come in here and talk about health and well-being. I like to say it's a health hour of new health news you can use. Okay, yeah, I got that out there. I've got Jennifer here in the studio with me, and I tell you what, Jennifer, if you give me 1 sec, I promised them that I would give the restaurants here that scored 100, and so I like to give kudos to these restaurants here, and we're going to get right to you, and we've got a lot to talk about. Got a lot of time to talk about it, too. It'll go by quick, though. It will go by quick. But anyway, this week I'm just doing the restaurants that scored a perfect score, and just picked out a few of them there. This is the month of May. Fleming's Prime Rib House there in the Woodlands, on Lake Woodlands, scored a perfect 100 on May 3rd. Congratulations to those guys. Torchy's Tacos on Research Forest, they scored a perfect 100 on May 5th. 2016. Good job there. And let's see, I think we talked about this one last week, I think. But anyway, on Lake Woodlands Drive, also there in the Woodlands, is Brio Tuscany Grill. On May 24th, they had a perfect score. And then Russo's New York Pizzeria, College Park Drive, on the May 19th, had a perfect score. So good job to the folks out there in those restaurants and everything. And by the way, I wanted to give you this website for mainly the Woodlands restaurants there. In case you want to look this information up yourself, you can go to, okay, you ready? It's thewoodlandsrestaurantreviews.com. Okay? thewoodlandsrestaurantreviews.com, and they have a whole list of restaurants there and everything, so you can check that out. And that, by the way, that is specific to just the Woodlands area. My normal restaurant reports that I do on here are all of the restaurants in Montgomery County, as I get those from the inspectors themselves right off the press. So, all right, without further ado, Miss Jennifer, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Let's see. I've got about, looks like about 25 questions here for you.
All right.
No, I tell you first. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jennifer. Maybe where you're from, kind of your background, and how did you get involved and correct me if I'm wrong, but conflict resolution, if you will, mitigation, that type of stuff. So just tell us a little bit about how all this came about.
So, to start off with some of my background, I was in the banking industry for over 10 years.
Okay.
I had started from a full-time teller to worked my way up to management.
Handling other people's money, that
Yes.
could definitely create a little tension, I'm sure.
Absolutely. But I decided to, I had always had a passion in going into studying psychology, possibly even going into counseling. And I decided that I really wanted to move forward with that passion. So I ended my career in banking and went as a full-time student. I graduated from Sam Houston State University last December.
Oh, cool.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you. Received my bachelor's degree. And along the way, I had visited with a career counselor, kind of going into some other career paths, possibilities. Mm-hmm. And mediation came up, and I was fascinated how mediation is so empowering, especially for, individuals that are going through some type of lawsuit where
Sure.
they have the ability to go in there and really kind of resolve the issues on their own, mm-hmm. Without having a judge, telling them how it should be resolved. So I went and visited with the university attorney there and
Right.
to get some more information, and he actually guided me to a very highly respected mediation training course in Houston, Texas.
Right.
And so I got my basic mediation certificate and my advanced mediation certificate that meets state statutes.
Yeah.
And so now I am today. I got my own business started, and
So you have a few things you have to do. Like I couldn't just go out there and go like, hey, today I think what Mike's gonna mitigate some stuff. Gonna fix some problems out there. So you can't just there's some there's some regulations. I guess state or local regulations you have to go through and everything.
yes.
Okay, cool. That's good.
The Texas statutes, yes, you have to meet those in order to mediate cases.
Okay.
So.
And you're dealing with attorneys and clients and all that type of stuff and everything.
Yes.
Do you do stuff for like just individuals as well, or is you're pretty much handling like legal cases and stuff like that?
Well, my main focus is legal cases. However, there are unfortunately, we're surrounded by conflict, and conflict, happens every day. So, especially in corporations, businesses. So I would, like to have the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
If the opportunity arises to help those companies and individuals to handle employee disputes, business disputes.
Let's say before they lawyer up, so to speak.
Exactly.
And talk about conflict. All you got to do is watch a little bit of daytime TV. That's all the conflict and drama you need right there.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So okay, and good deal. So you are you're here local in the area.
Yes, I'm here in Conroe, Texas, but
Mm-hmm.
I am in the area, obviously, of all Montgomery County.
Right.
And anyone out in Houston also, I'm happy to be available to them as well. So, but for right now, the main focus is here in Montgomery County.
Well, cool. Well, good deal. Good deal. Well, so it sounds like that, you didn't just wake up one morning and say, oh, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. It took a little bit of time and effort in school and training and that type of stuff. So, good deal. Good deal. Well, let me ask you, and by the way, let me back up just a little bit because, you and I had this conversation, but for the listeners, for you folks out there, we were talking about, I had been in oil and gas and had reached a level where I was involved in some of the litigation going on, and I managed health and safety, and I saw the impact that it had on people with these type of conflicts and this stuff hanging over their head, if you will. And I saw how it affected, the people and their health and that type of stuff. So a lot of times we would go to someone like you, or have someone like you come in and try to find a successful resolution, if you will, before everybody went to court, so to speak. So I've seen a little bit of this stuff kind of in action and how it worked, and that's why I thought, like, hey, this would be, Jennifer, would be great to come on the show and talk about this type of stuff and everything. So that's where it all kind of come from, But can you give us like an ideal maybe of and no names or anything like that? I don't want you to say, well, my neighbor's down the street. Here they boy, you'll see what they have going on. But can you give us like an ideal or maybe some situations that you're currently dealing with, or maybe some things that you've seen in the past, some examples for our listeners out there? So let's say they're going through something or whatnot, and something that you can pass along to us there.
Okay. An incident that I came across recently that would be a prime example of being able to go through mediation. There was a homeowner recently. He bought his house about 3 years ago, and decided to remodel. And he did some add-ons, redid his roof, and then shortly after, he received a job offer out of state. So he was had to basically put his house on the market so he could move his family to the state they were going to. And he was told by a home inspector that he needed a new roof in order to go forth with an offer that was made on the house. So immediately there was a conflict between the homeowner and the general contractor, and because of the circumstances of he's moving out of state, and then with the general contractor kind of finding out what happened on their end, a situation like that, which is very common, is just
very stressful.
Exactly. And especially there's so much involved with that.
Absolutely.
It's a great opportunity for mediation, because maybe there was a miscommunication somewhere, where they can actually talk and find out what the issues are, so they can move forward and going on, so he could go start his
move his family get on with his life, so
exactly
to speak.
And the general contractor is willing to move on with his business. So
sure.
So that's an example. As far as family cases, unfortunately there are divorce cases out there, where the families, there's obviously conflict and tension. A great opportunity would be for the families, or for the couple, to come together and work through those issues. And if there's children involved, obviously, work out the issues for the best interest of their children. Okay.
Well, you obviously you didn't meet my last ex-wife. I mean, just joke. She's a sweetheart. Well, good deal. I'll tell you what, we have quite a bit more to talk about. But before we go on break here, I want to let you know, guys, that we are looking for sponsors here for the Health Hour. So if you would like to sponsor the show, you like what you're listening to, you can always contact me at my website is MikeSasser.com. Of course, that's www.MikeSasser.com. And love to talk to you about sponsoring the show, maybe a couple of segments or something like that. And by the way, if you want to get in touch with me about the show with questions, comments, or anything like that, then feel free to use that same website address, MikeSasser.com. And I have a contact me page there, and you can click on that. You'll find my Twitter account, you'll find my Facebook, and you can email me directly. So if you like the Health Hour, let us know. If you'd like to sponsor it, let me know. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with some more Health Hour and Jennifer.
Lone Star Community Radio is FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, coming in June of 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk and music shows on YouTube, cable TV, and our city TV, we are offering special sponsorships rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcast. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like the one you're listening to online at irlonestar.com/sponsor, or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hello, this is Mike Sasser, and I'm your host of the Health Hour right here on Lone Star Community Radio. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m., this is a live show coming to you from the studios, looking out over beautiful downtown Conroe. Nice day, sunshiny day out there. And by the way, got some great news for you. We are going FM. That's right. Right here on Lone Star is going FM. We will soon be on 104.5 and also 106.1 on your radio dial. So that way you'll be able to listen to the great shows here in your car, in your boat. I think some motorcycles even have radios. I'm not sure. I see them riding around with headphones and stuff like that, So they're listening to something. So why not listen to the Health Hour every Wednesday, right? But if you miss the live show, you can always catch us on podcast, and those podcasts are they're found on Lone Star Community Radio. I'll give you that website address. It's www.irlonestar.com, and you can also find them on my website, which is MikeSasser.com. And by the way, that's MikeSasser, S as in Sam. And go there. You can find the podcast. You can find also how to get in touch with me. I have a Contact Mike link on there, and you click on that. You can email me directly. You can find me on Facebook. You can tweet me on Twitter. I think I said that right. Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, there you go. I never thought I'd have like a Twitter account. Kind of funny thing there, but I do. So plenty of ways to get in touch with me with your questions, your comments. Hey, you might have an idea for an upcoming show. So let me hear from you. And certainly, if you'd like to sponsor this show, I'd like to hear from you as well. We are now looking for sponsors, and remember, we're going FM, man. We're going to be big time. And so, sponsoring the show, hey, you're going to be out there. You're going to be out and about in the community. So here on the Health Hour, it is an hour of health news you can use. And I have a special guest in the studio today. I have Ms. Jennifer. And we are talking about, and I keep saying conflict resolution, but the name of your company is?
Confidential Resolution Services.
Confidential Resolution Services. So in other words, when I come to you and I need you to fix a problem I've got, a conflict I've got, first off, it's confidential. It's not like we're, going to talk about what's going on with me and then go spread it to the community or anything like that. So tell us a little bit about that. I'm sure you probably have some confidentiality type agreements or forms or something like that that people do.
So yes, so when two or more parties come in to mediate, it is a confidential setting. So like I mentioned before, it really allows the parties to engage in conversation openly. They can discuss any issues that they feel they need to address there. Mm-hmm. So it just really, my position as a mediator is to, create the atmosphere where they feel comfortable and they feel at ease that they can speak about these, issues that are going on and really addressing them.
Now, it brings a question. Do you usually go to the people, so to speak, their office or place of business or wherever? Do you have an office or a place that they can come to see you? How does that work, Jennifer?
Well, they would contact me via telephone, and then from there we can set up, if we need to meet in person before the mediation, so to speak. Okay. But I would set up the mediation in a neutral area, typically a conference room of some sort, so that way it has plenty of space. And one of the processes that I practice is for the parties to sit across from each other. Right. Where they can, like I said, engage in that open dialogue and really speak to each other and allow themselves to really, open up about what they want to talk about. And of course, we set that up where one party speaks first and kind of says what they need to say without the other party engaging or any interruptions, and then vice versa for the other party as well.
Now, do you wear like a referee uniform while you're doing all this, or?
No, I guess I could. Yeah, the referee shirt and everything.
Do you remove all the items in the room that can be thrown or anything like that?
No,
or?
It's actually a very peaceful environment because I bring refreshments and snacks and everything. So, like I said, just to kind of get that comfortable feeling, atmosphere where they can sit and they feel comfortable and
talk about it.
And exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I was joking. I was joking. Yeah. Good deal. Well, you talked about, and this just came to mind, but you talked about the situation of, you were helping a guy selling his home and having to move his family out of the state, and ran into some difficulties, and you were able to resolve that and everything. We've had so much flooding here lately and stuff, and you know how sometimes that people and their insurance companies can have conflicts come up. And again, you're talking about people's homes. You're talking about where they live. You're talking about their livelihoods and that type of stuff. I mean, is that something that you could assist with or help with or interested in? Because I'm sure. Think about it. I mean, we've had so much of the area flood here in the last 2 months that I'm sure some conflict between insurance companies and homeowners is going to come up. Is that something that you can help with?
Sure. I mean, that's definitely an opportunity. There could be some kind of opportunity there to assist customers dealing with their insurances and vice versa. So definitely they can reach out to me and we can that's something we can work with, and because yes, that would be an opportunity where there could be a dispute there that could be in need of mediation. Yeah,
and I don't want to put you on the hook or anything like that out there or nothing, but you might just be another resource.
Exactly.
I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Is rather than again everybody lawyering, getting their lawyers, getting their attorneys, and then we go into court and all this kind of stuff. Maybe let's just sit down, find a nice place, and see if we can't work this thing out and stuff. So,
exactly.
And like I said, that's I see that as a upcoming need for the community with all the flood and devastation that's happened here lately. So you got the guy, and by the way, if you missed the other part of the show, you're just tuning in, that's not a problem. You can catch us on podcast. Again, MikeSasser.com. Just go there, and all the podcasts are listed, as well as on the Lone Star Community Radio website is www.irlonestar.com. So if you, like I said, if you're just tuning in, you missed what we talked about earlier, don't worry about it. Give us a couple days, we'll have it up on the air, and all the previous shows, by the way, are podcasts. So, so we got the guy that was moving out of state and that type of stuff, and it sounds like you had a successful a resolution there. Is there maybe another success story or two that you can share with us?
Well, some other success stories that what those would look like, especially family cases, where, as I mentioned before, if a couple is going through divorce, just having that opportunity for them to really work out those issues,
right?
And find out what the best solutions are going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
To give them peace of mind and a better future.
And that's I'm sure that's definitely case by case. I mean, there's no cookie cutter for divorce and that type of stuff, because sometimes you have kids involved, sometimes you have properties involved and all that kind of stuff and everything. It can get very complicated very quick, I would think. So
yes,
something that you definitely want to look at. Is there anything, Jennifer, that maybe I didn't ask or we haven't touched on that you would like the listeners to know about as far as some stuff that you do?
Well, I was going to, since you are the health hour, I was going to touch on some of the health benefits of conflict resolution.
Yeah.
So, just mediation could be a major stress reliever because, these parties or individuals that are going through a very difficult time in their lives, and
Right.
this gives them the opportunity to face the unknown, because a lot of times that's what it comes down to, is the fear of what's going to happen, during this process.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
A boost of confidence, because it really shows them how they have the power, and how mediation can be very effective in dealing with those issues and really coming up with solutions that's going to give them a better future. And really, one thing that I say is resolution today, peace of mind tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is truly about, is the peace of mind.
Right.
Relieving that burden of carrying, tension and anger and fear, just overall, just emotionally, physically, and mentally, just kind of really relieves a lot of that.
And all of that has impact on your overall well-being, your health, and just again how you feel about things and stuff like that. Well, Jennifer, I'll tell you what, it's been very informative. Tell the listeners out there, how do we get in touch with you? What's some contact information?
You can definitely follow me on Facebook through Confidential Resolution Services.
Okay.
You can also follow me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And also feel free to, if you have a question or any concerns that you would like, for me to talk to you about, you can email me at jennifer@confidentialresolution.com.
Okay, great, Jennifer. Well, again, appreciate you, being on the show, and
thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you did wonderful. You did great, and
Thank you.
I tell you, we're going to take a quick break here and come back, and we're going to wrap up the Health Hour with grocery ads. So come on back.
Lone Star Community Radio is on FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, coming in June 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk show and music shows on YouTube and cable TV, we are offering special sponsorship rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcasts. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like this one you're listening to right now online at irlonestar.com/sponsor. Or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour with Mike Sasser. I am Mike Sasser, your host, and I am here on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. It's a 1-hour show. It's a live show. We do this right here in the studio and downtown Conroe on Lone Star Community Radio. And if you're listening to us today, you're probably listening to us on the internet. But guess what? Not long from now, you're going to be able to listen to us on FM. You're going to be able to listen to us on your car radio, your boat radio, whatever radio you've got. We're going to be hitting your dial at FM 104.5 and 106.1. And that is coming up in, what is that, Dick? You said June? July?
July 18th.
Yeah, July 18th. That's the official date. I just got it from the man himself right here. The man that pushes the buttons and everything for me here. So appreciate that, Dick. The Health Hour every Wednesday at 1 p.m. And by the way, if you missed the show, if you just happen to be tuning in, turning on, podcasts are available anytime, all the time, 24/7. I mean, what's so cool about the podcast is before you go to bed, you need something to, put you to sleep. And I'm just joking. The Health Hour, its own podcast. You just go to www.irlonestar.com and you can find us under the archives. A lot of great shows on the radio station, by the way. They're all archived, and you can check them out at your own convenience. So podcast is the way to go. Who am I? Mike Sasser. I'm a local author. I live here in Montgomery County on Lake Conroe, and published a book called Simple, Inexpensive, and Painless Weight Loss, and it is basically my true weight loss story. And it's out there on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Matter of fact, it's at the Barnes and Noble in the Woodlands, here at Hastings in Conroe. So you can pick up a copy there. Check it out on my website, MikeSasser.com. And that's kind of how this whole show came about, called the Health Hour. I wanted to spread health and well-being to the community, and just get some good news out there for a change. Every time when you turn on the regular news, I hate to say it, but the first 10-15 minutes is just flat negative and makes you sad. So and the Health Hour, tune in every week, and you'll get 1 hour of health news you can use. So what I would like to do now, and this is a weekly segment, is every Wednesday the grocery stores put out their ad for the upcoming week. So like today the ad came out, and it'll be good through next Tuesday. So it gives you their sales items and things like that. So I look at the different grocery stores here in the community, and today I was looking at Randalls. There's one definitely over there on 242 in the Woodlands, but so it's a chain store, but it's a local store. And what I'd like to try to find is maybe some healthy choices there. I don't necessarily go through all the pricing and that type of stuff, but looking through the Randalls grocery store ads today, I saw this, and matter of fact, I saw it in a couple of different grocery stores that I've been in over the last week, and that's red Seedless Grapes are on sale. They're on sale because they're in season. We talked about that on last week's show. What fruits and vegetables are coming in season in the month of June, and grapes were one of them. So this is a great snack that you can put in some Tupperware, or even in a plastic Ziploc bag, and put it in front of your refrigerator. Make it convenient. Instead of reaching for that bag of M&Ms or that Snickers bar, grab you a handful of seedless grapes. They're good for you, and nutritionists give you a quick hint too on this is you can freeze these things. And they're almost like a popsicle consistency. So on these hot summer days coming up, it's a good deal. Peaches are also in season this month, and so you're going to see some sales on peaches. They're again, their nutrition value. They're also very they make you they cool you down on a hot day is what I'm trying to get. Very refreshing to have a peach and stuff. Give you an idea though, and when you're eating any kind of produce, and fruits and vegetables certainly are good for you. They're the natural sugars, natural fibers and things like that. They're basically built for your body. Your body knows how to break it down, how to use it, and are good for you. But I will give you a hint. You want to maybe look at the nutrition values for them and not go overboard. I did this one time with, and it was summertime, but I love melons. I love watermelons and cantaloupes and things like that. And I was eating a bunch of it until I figured out, wow, man, there's a lot of sugar, especially in watermelon. And I think I was kind of overdoing it, even though it was natural sugars. Again, your body can only use so much sugar, and then once it reaches that amount, the only other thing it knows to do with it is to store it. And so, in one of my in my book, I tracked all this information for 60 days. I tracked everything I ate and drank, and the activities I did, and it shows this. That very example is in my book about that. So, like I said, fruit, produce, vegetables, they're all good for you, but you can search their nutrition value on the internet, and just don't overdo a good thing. I guess is what I'm getting at. And there's one other thing that was on sale, and this is going to be on sale for summertime. The kiddos are out of school now. You're looking for nutritious snacks. You're looking for convenient meals, things that are easy to prepare. And what's probably top of the list that all kids love? Hot dogs, for the most part, right? hot dogs and lunch meat. You're going to be making sandwiches. You're going to be, throughout the summer months and things like that. So what am I getting at? Again, read the nutrition labels. When you're buying these products, try to reduce the sodium, because sodium is what they use to preserve these lunch meats, and so they're all high in sodium. So when like I said, we're going to get this stuff. I mean, it's convenient, it's inexpensive, and kids love it. So when you're buying the hot dogs, you're buying the lunch meat, read the nutrition labels. If you're getting it from the deli, ask that person behind the deli, do you have some low sodium, lunch meats and things like that? And again, try to watch the sodium. The recommended daily allowance for sodium is on the low end 1,500 milligrams. 2,300 milligrams is kind of tolerated. Again, there's studies out there that says we're eating 4, 5, 6 times the amount of sodium a day. That's where the high blood pressure is coming from. That's where the heart disease is coming from, and things like that. So you can learn a lot of this type of stuff on the Health Hour if you just tune in every Wednesday at 1 p.m. We're here sharing this news with you, and glad you tuned in. Hey, one more time, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, we're definitely looking for it. We'd like to talk to you, and so appreciate you listening this week. We'll be right back here next week. And thanks for listening to the Health Hour. Mike Sasser. Have a great week.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.